Hello everybody, Skyrain here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Now, what day is it? It's Patch Notes Day, official Patch Notes Day. So let's get right into it here, not waste too much time, as I always say, and then it always kind of drags on a bit. Survivor's Bane is coming back. It's getting some updates. They made a couple changes. Rewards will now be based upon kill count instead of combat duration. In endless mode, players will see a menu option at roughly 12, 17, 22, 27 minutes that provide option to exit and claim rewards or continue playing. Enemies will become stronger after that if they decide to continue, blah blah blah. A variety of skills have gotten buffs. There's a list of them here. Okay, new PvP mode, Tower War. Now this sounds no different and looks no different than the Accursed Towers, Conquer mode, what have you. I see no difference to this at all. So I don't know why they say this is a new PvP mode, Tower War, when it's been in the game for a while now, but whatever. And they try to play it off here in this probably poorly translated section. Tower War experience might feel familiar to some. Yeah, 2 teams enter, but only one can capture and hold the map's 5 effigies long enough to awaken and slay the Sacred Guardian, accruing. So I'm guessing the only difference that might be here, but it's still got the same scoring system. It looks like in that image. Oh, I blew up way too big on the screen. 1500. Hang on, let me unhook this. There you go. Oh, no, never mind. I cut it too much. That's okay. Let's get out of that one. No. Go back to the other one. Thank you very much. Yeah, it says 1500 points or what have you. So I don't know. It doesn't seem any different to me, but whatever. Moving on. But yeah, it's gonna go in between Battlegrounds time blocks, so it's gonna be, you know, 10 to 12, 2 to 4, 8 to 10. So yeah, in between Battlegrounds. It's gonna run for almost a month though, and apparently you get a ranking to climb, earning rewards like upgraded materials, legendary items, and normal gems on a leaderboard. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Returning events, Alley of Blood. Nothing changed there from what we can tell. February 23rd to March 1st. Fire Before Darkness event. Trash rewards, trash event. Nothing spectacular in that one. All clans on deck. The rewards are somewhat decent. It just sucks that you have to wait to claim them for like, it seems like a week or more sometimes. Alright, here we go. New legendary items and class balance. I've already seen the class balance, and quite honestly, it's quite a joke, and it's a very short list. But anyway, I'm gonna get into these. I'm just gonna put them on screen, and I'm not gonna count out this time. I'm just gonna leave them up for about 5 seconds a piece. Pause them where you need to. If you're looking for your class in particular, just do this as a visual guide. So here you go. Here's Barbarian. Okay, moving on. Blood Knight. Alright, Crusader. Hang on, there we go. Demon Hunter next. Here. Go. Monk. Necromancer. And down to Wizard. Now, Wizard, I'm going to take a little bit more of a thought on this one. We're getting summons, which is kind of, in a sense, a killer because I don't know how many shepherd pieces, set pieces I had scrapped for wisps because don't really use summons as a wizard, and now all of a sudden they finally give us essences that do. But it still remains to be seen whether these are going to be mostly PvP viable, or, you know, how PvE's, you know, PvE's basically whatever you want to do. So hopefully, like I said, they look, I'm hoping they look cool, of course, and I'm hoping they are actually pretty good on the damage aspect as well, and utilities. We will have, that remains to be seen. I'm gonna have to wait until they get released, and then also I'm gonna open up some more of my mystery legendary items to try to get essences as fast as possible that way, and then put them to the test, of course, and I'll give my thoughts on those when I actually get those, one way, you know, or another. But yeah, it sounds fun, and I'm actually looking forward to it to an extent. Like I said, I hope the animations are actually cool to coincide with, you know, how they actually work. But we'll just have to wait and see. Astral Feather, main hand, Arcane Wind now summons a Stormbird that follows you and charges at random enemies. There's a lot of random in these, I've noticed when I was reading through them earlier. Crystalline Shadow, Shoulders, Disintegrate now summons an Arcane Deputy that follows you and channels a Disintegrate beam at enemies. Again, have to see how that works. Dancing Lightning, offhand. Ice Armor now bestows the grace of thunder upon you and your nearby summons. And your nearby summons as well. There's also some summon buffs I've seen in Crusader as well, which is interesting. So we're getting a lot of summon essences this turn, it looks like. Which periodically strike random enemies with lightning. Periodically. Again, depends on how periodically that is and how long these summons last. Halted Breath, chest piece. Ice Armor's duration is increased by 30%. That's pretty nice if you use it. So yeah, might have to start using Ice Armor a bit more often. Damage you take is reduced by 18. Oh, and then the pants. Damage you take is reduced by 18% while Disintegrate is active. So that sounds like that would benefit the Disintegrate bubble that has the armor break, but also at the same time the pants slot is what helped reduce the duration, or reduce the cooldown on it, so you can cast it again pretty quick depending on how many enemies you hit with it. So that's kind of I don't know, it depends on which Disintegrates and how that's gonna work exactly. So that's, again, this is all theory crafting and gonna need some testing. But also going to need to acquire them first, which means good luck on that with a loyalty bonus nonsense all over again. Haha. Alright, Sunfire Crown, Helm, Scorch now summons 2 Scorching Serpents that follow you and charge at random enemies again, causing them to burn. That sounds cool, as opposed to, like, say, the Spinning Ball Orb one. However, that one I think had more functionality because you can hit people with the spinning balls and stun them and push them away, that depending on which essences you synergized with. This one doesn't really have any synergy. It's just you're stacking summons, but they don't synergize so much, it looks like. So take your pick, I guess. But yeah, all right, there's that for that. Let's keep moving on here. Class balance. Here we go. And there was a thing on Reddit where there was a post saying, oh, Wizards gonna get big buffs upcoming soon. It's like, no, we just got summon essences. And I don't know what buffs you're talking about, because here's the class balance list. And it's just, there it is. That's it. Barbarian and Demon Hunter. Short list. But anyway, Barbarian skills, Wrath of Berserker, cooldown reduced, buff. Whirlwind, base damage increased, buff. Barbarian items, cooldown reduced, buff. Next one is damage increased by 20% buff. Delay before interruption reduced to 0.5 seconds buff. Slight buff, but buff. Interruption damage increased by 30% buff. And then the next one, damage increased by 30% on that skill. That's another buff. Demon Hunter skills. Or Demon Hunter skill. Strafe. Damage increased by 30%, can now fire up to 3 enemies at once. Buff. Demon Hunter items. Black Talon cooldown reduced. From 12 to 9 seconds, damage increased by 140. Don't know how much these... No. Don't know how much these items get used, or how often they're used in play. So they might be, you know, obviously bringing these items up a bit to get people to use them more frequently than not. So, but either way, buff. Damage increase, buff. Fire at 2 enemies at once. Yes, buff. And the last one, damage increased by only 48%. That one's a little light, so that one might have just got a slight balance buff. But still, that's it. That's all they got listed. F the rest of us, because, you know, why? Why not? Nobody else gets any kind of class balancing this patch at all. Just Barbarian and Demon Hunter on a few select items. So I don't know what to make of this one. The other stuff that they might have put in that Reddit post that was kind of early, I think that was more for the larger patch update. But at the same time, it would be nice to see an actual proper class balancing when they release the new essences, because you'd think that would make more sense for them to do them at the same time, but whatever. Anyway, there you go. That's a quick rundown of it. Like I said, hopefully, let me see, feature updates. Oh, no, not done yet. I'm sorry, my bad. Not done yet, there's more. But wait, there's more. Feature updates, jump skills, made improvements to prevent jump abilities from being able to exit the map. This includes abilities Demon Hunter's Daring Swing and Barbarian's Leap. Well, I'd like to see them stop them from jumping through the barrier walls and battlegrounds. Anyway, defend the vault. They're changing the vault a bit, which is, I guess, good thing. Wanted to encourage PvP elements that push shadows through the entirety of the vault, more enticing. Shadows and Immortals will no longer forfeit rewards for losing a match. Instead, the defeated team will receive reduced rewards compared to the winning team. So you don't always lose all your stuff. Chests are locked when the Immortals enter the match on that floor. The Immortals must be defeated to loot the chests, so that's kind of a good thing. But then they already changed how the loot falls. So before it was like you didn't want to open the chest in the last floor, but then they supposedly fixed that. It's to where you keep everything you got up to that point, but I guess all bets are off again. And this is still changed, but we'll just have to wait and see and practice how that actually unfolds. Armory. Previously, using the class change feature would erase all loadouts from your previous class. Now, the Armory will save all class loadouts played on your account. Now, here's the thing. Do we get more armor slots for it, or do we have to make, you know, when you're wanting to swap classes, or you just have to make sure you free up some and say, oh yeah, this is this class and this is this class? Or do they're not gonna, more than likely they're not gonna add any more tabs. That's gonna take up more server space from a probably development coding aspect, so they probably won't do that, unfortunately. So if you're changing classes, make sure you got a few loadouts that you're not using anymore or whatever, and free up some room. Anyway, familiars. Small adjustments to the visual menus associated with familiars to better help players navigate and click, tap buttons. Specific change is that common traits will display a 0 value at the base level and count upwards for each stack. This helps players to differentiate advanced traits from common traits and alert players that advanced traits can be stacked. Alright, well that's slightly helpful, but it's still a convoluted mess of a system. But anyway, okay, and then there we go. Bug fixes, haha, nothing. But yeah, and the problem with this, bug fixes, being such a joke, is the fact that things are just terribly busted. There's a lot of things that needed fixed. For instance, the past 2 raids in Inferno 5, the animations don't match up for the things that come on screen. There's one that does like a laser beam, like the Frozen Tundra dungeon boss, but they don't match the damage, and you're just getting hit with stuff you don't even see on your screen, that kind of thing. It's really bad. It's really terrible. It doesn't happen every time, but pretty much 80% of the time it does, and it's terrible. But anyway, there you go. That's a rundown of the patch notes and what to expect for this upcoming maintenance. We still have to wait a couple days for, but there, at least it's official now what they're rolling out. This is a small one, a small update, even after their 3 weeks of nothing, instead of the usual 2 weeks in between because of the Chinese holiday. But yeah, I don't know. Still kind of, it's going to be one of those wait and see things as far as the essences go. Wait to acquire them for one, and then wait to test them out. And I'll try to do that as fast as possible with the wizard essences. But hopefully you get some stuff that could be fun. Like I said, I'll take anything that's at this point fun above all else. And then, well, functionality and fun. For once, instead of just like, oh, here you go, and we get something that just doesn't really translate very well and is kind of lackluster and disappointing. But anyway, catch you guys in the next one. As always, thank you for watching. Please do the YouTube things and like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff for the YouTube algorithm. Please, really appreciate it. As always, stay safe out there in the real world, on fire as always, best you can. See you next time.